Welcome to section 6.2. In this section, we're going to apply our knowledge of percents to some very specific settings. We're going to be looking at discounts, markups, and sales tax. So the first type of problems that you'll experience during the homework is discounts. And so there's some things to point out as we get into the problems. The first is that whenever they say retail price, it is the same as when they say original price. So the retail price of the item is the price of the item before the discount is being applied. It's the original price of the item. Then you'll have some needed formulas. The book gives one formula that they manipulate, but I thought I'd break it out into three very specific formulas based upon what they're asking for. So the first is sales price is equal to retail price times 1 minus the percent discount. Percent discount is retail price minus sales price divided by retail price. And retail price can be found by taking the sales price that they give you and divide by 1 minus the percent discount that they give you. So keep in mind, as they ask you to find sale price, they'll give you the retail price and the percent discount so you know what numbers to plug in. Similarly, as they ask you for a percent discount, they'll give you the retail price, the sales price, so that you know what to plug in. And you'll see this happen as we go through various examples. I do always want to remind you of this. In every problem, let me write that better. In every problem, you must convert a percent. Whether that's you converting the percent that's given to you right in the beginning to its real number equivalent, or whether that's you adjusting a number that you get in the end to reflect the percent. You'll see that happen in each problem, but I just wanted to remind you of that in every problem, you're going to have to convert a percent to its real number. So if you haven't done a conversion, you've done it wrong, is what I always want you to have in the back of your mind. So let's take a look at an example. Here is number 2 from the 6.2 homework. And it says this, it literally says retail price is retail price is $75. Sorry, my eyes went up to the wrong one. Then it says the percent discount is 65%. So something's on a massive sale, it's 65% off. And they want us to find the sale price. So what do we need? We need to understand the ask. The ask is to find the sales price. So the first thing that we do is find out, hey, what do you want me to do? I want you to find the sales price. Cool. Now that we know they want us to find the sale price, I'm going to go up and look for a formula where the sale price is solved for. And I see it. I see that the sale price is equal to the retail price times 1 minus the percent discount. Just rewriting that in a way that truncates that. But it's that very top formula there. Awesome, I can do that. So sale price is what I want, so I won't be able to plug in for that. But I should be able to plug in for the others. Well, what did they tell me the retail price was? Well, they told me it was $75. And then 1 minus the percent discount. Well, the percent discount they gave me is 65. So if I put a 65 in here, I'm going to have my answer is going to be wrong. It's going to be some crazy negative number that doesn't make any sense. Why is it wrong? Because I have to convert 65% to its decimal equivalent of 0.65, like you did in the very first problems in 6.1 and needed to do in all the subsequent ones. So instead of putting in 65, I'm putting in its decimal equivalent of 0.65. So just to highlight that, 65% is equal to 0.65. And that's the number that I need to put in. Awesome. Now I'm ready to go in my calculator. In my calculator, I am just needing to type in 75 times, open parentheses, 1 minus 0.65, close those parentheses, and hit equals. I can type it in exactly how I see it. I don't even think you need this times here. It would know what to do between a parenthesis, but I always put it. And I get my answer, $26.25. That's all I'm going to have to pay. That's the answer to the sale price, because what I was solving for was sale price, and so it's $26.25. Notice that is a big discount from the 75, but that's what I was expecting when I was told I would save 65%. Awesome. So that's one type of problem that you'll have. Then I'd like to have us do number 4. Number 4, and what I'm going to do here is just erase all of this since you can back up the video and we can stay close to these formulas. Otherwise, I'm going to have to scroll back and forth so that you can see the formulas. So I'm going to get rid of all this, and then we're going to come in and look at number 4. So number 4 gives us some information. Here's what number 4 gives us. They tell me the retail price is $47. They tell me the sale price is $41.50. And they're asking me to find the percent discount. All right, no problem. I first identify what they're asking me to find. Find that percent discount. I then go look for the formula where percent discount is solved for. We see it there as the second one down. And what does it say to do? It says to take the retail price, which was $47, subtract away the sales price, which is $41.50, and divide that by the retail price, which is $47. This time I chose to put in the .00. You can if you want. You definitely have to keep the 41.50. You got to have that 50 cents in there. Again, you can plug this in exactly how it appears in your calculator. Open parentheses, 47. Excuse me. So open parentheses, 47 minus 41.50, close them. So minus 41.50, and I'm going to close it. And then divide by, right? That's what that little slash means, divide by 47. And I just type divide by 47. And my calculator is going to give me a number. And the number it gives me is 0.1170212277. You will get a small number like that every single time. Now remember, you're solving for percent discount. Let me ask you a question. Have you done anything to convert a percent yet? And the answer is no. So here's where we have to convert the percent. What the formula gives us is the real number equivalent of the percent. I need to move that decimal point forward twice in order to realize I'm looking at an 11.7% discount. That's the answer to my question. I cannot take the decimal equivalent as a full credit answer. You'll get a lot of credit for choosing the right formula, running it the right way. But I can't give you full credit if you don't answer the question, which is, hey, what percent did you save? Then let's look at another question. Okay, so you can back up the video to see that. The third type of question is here. Let's see if it's problem number 6. The third type of question is, get back to black, find the retail price. So let's go find one. 6 does that. So they kind of alternate and have you find all aspects of it. Here's what 6 says. It says my sale price is equal to $1,208.43. Nice real number problem. The percent discount is equal to 13%. And now what they're asking me to find is the retail price. All right, so it's just the same as the other two. I have a question that's being asked, so I find its formula. I see it there as the last one. the retail price, I'm going to put RP because you feel free to just abbreviate things, is equal to the sales price. Oh, that's the $1,208.43. And I need to divide that by 1 minus the percent discount. So just to highlight it, I'll put it in blue again. I'm going to take that 13% and write it as its real number equivalent, 0.13. You can just let your calculator do all the work. Type in exactly what you see there, 1208.43 divided by, open parentheses, 1 minus 0.13, close those parentheses, hit equals. And you have a number, $1,389. That is the answer to the question. Now, does it make sense? Well, the retail price is the price before the discount is applied, right? It's the original price. So that should be higher than the sale price, and $13.89 is higher than that sales price. So it does feel like we've done everything correct. It feels like a right answer because the original price was $13.89. I was able to save 13%, which brought it down to $12.08.43. Great. So all that happens now is we just flip the format. The next group of problems is going to be dealing with increasing the price. Markups, right? What's happening right now as we are in an inflationary state, businesses are raising their prices, they're marking them up. And so we have a very similar feel here. So it's important to note again that retail price is the same as the original price. They use the word cost. So cost is the actual cost to the customer after the markup. So cost, when they use it in the homework, means it is the retail price plus the markup. So it's the higher price. And here's the needed formulas that are going to guide us through each one of those situations. So where do these kick in? So let's see. Just looking at these, let's look at number 14. Number 14 seems to be where these kick in. So they give us a lot of time to practice, bouncing us back and forth. Number 14 says the cost is $2.27. It tells us that the percent markup is 42%. And then it asks us to find the retail price. And you're saying to yourself, no problem. I have a formula right there for retail price. The retail price was the price that was originally at, right? The price before the markup. But the formula is right there in the middle. The formula is retail price is equal to cost, $2.27, divided by, open parentheses, 1 plus the markup. And again, to highlight what we're doing, I'll put it in blue again. The percent markup is 42%, so its real number equivalent is 0.42. So we put it in like that, and then we run it. And I literally just type it in the way I see it, 2.27 divided by 1, open parentheses, 1 plus 0.42, close those, hit equals, and we have $1.59859, and it just keeps going. We would want to do natural rounding to the nearest cent, and we do $1.60. So the original price of the item before the markup, what it cost us way back when, was $1.60. That was the retail price, but it's been marked up 42% because of inflation. So now for that same item, I'm now paying $2.27. Again, no different than the last ones. We're just asked a question, we find the right formula, and then we run the numbers. As I wrote these formulas, what I strived to do was to keep the language exactly as it was in the homework, right? And I'll mirror that as we go through and do the exam. So what does 16 ask us to do now that we're in this markup area? 16 tells us that the cost, the price after the markup, is $466.16. The retail price, what it originally cost, was $699. And we're asked to find the percent markup. Okay, so cost is what it is after, and retail price is what it is at the beginning. This problem seems to be a mistake because the retail price is higher. This was a discount, right? Because cost is what they're using for the actual cost to the customer after the markup, which worked perfectly in 14. So it looks like there's a mistake in the book for 16. So I'd like to skip that one. I was just kind of going in order to see what they had. Let's take a look at number 18. So the retail price, so this is 18, retail price is equal to $7.99. The percent markup, they're going to mark that up by 55%. And they're asking for us to find the cost of the item. Okay, so it's interesting. I apologize that 16's messed up in the book. Hopefully the odd numbers aren't. But if we run across that, we'll talk about it as a class. So here we are, retail price $7.99, percent markups 55%, find the cost. Well, that's that first formula. As we go to find that first formula, we now have that very first formula. So we have cost is equal to the retail price. The retail price is $7.99. The percent markup is 55%. So we know that goes in as a 0.55, and we run the number. We're expecting that our cost is higher. I have a small 0.55. I entered it in. I had a typo as I entered in my calculator. And when I do that, it tells me that the new cost is $1,238.45. And so that's what we're looking at as we take a look at the cost. So the retail price, again, is that original price. And the cost is the actual cost after the markup, the way that we're doing it in the book. So the only other thing that's here is sales tax. And that starts kicking in at problem number 19. And so retail price is the same as the purchase price. Both are original prices. Total price is the price after the tax has been applied. Needed formulas are sales tax equals retail price times sales tax rate. Total price is retail price times 1 plus the sales tax rate. Purchase price, right, and I can read these to you, but you can see them right there. We're just going to follow these formulas for whatever they ask us. Just remember, when they use the word sales tax rate, that phrase, I guess, sales tax rate, that's the percentage, right? That's the sales tax percentage. The sales tax is the amount that you're paying in tax. So kind of interesting there. They actually have some poor wording as you go through the homework in one area. So let's take a look at number 20. Number 20 is telling us that we have a retail price, an original price of $799. And we have a sales tax rate of 8.5%. And what are they going to ask us to find? They're going to ask us to find the sales tax. They're asking us to find the sales tax and total paid. And I'm going to put total price. Even though they do say total paid there, that's going to be the same. Total paid and total price is the same. So we actually have two asks. The sales tax, well, we have a sales tax. The sales tax is that first formula. It's the retail price times the sales tax rate. And again, for emphasis, 0.085. We're always converting it. So $7.99 times 0.085 is, we're going to pay $67.92 in sales tax. It is 0.915 when you run it in your calculator, but we'll always round to the nearest cent. So there's our sales tax. To find the total price, we have a formula. I'll stick with that, but you could always add your sales tax or to the original amount. So it should be $7.99 plus $67.92. That's a fast way to do it. Now that formula is not up there, but it's just the intuitive way to do it. Hey, the price is $79.99. I have to pay $67.92 in sales tax. Let me just add the two. So $7.99 plus $67.92. That comes up to $731.08. Oops, I apologize. I did a minus. I'm like, that should not have happened. It comes up to, let me erase that. Okay, that's a part of, looking at your answer and saying, does it make sense? I should pay more for the price than the original price. So $866.92 is what I would pay with tax if there was an 8.5% sales tax. There's also a total price formula, and I'm going to have to bring this down a little bit. It's at the top of the screen right now, and it says I could have just taken $7.99 times 1 plus the sales tax rate. That will give me the same answer. So if I take $7.99 times open parentheses 1 plus 0.085, close those parentheses, and it equals, I get 866.915, which is 866.92. So you could do this intermediate one that makes sense, or you could just add the tax to the original. You could apologize. That middle one is just taking the tax and adding it to the original price. This other formula allows you to get to the beginning to the end. I think it's important to know that formula, the total price one, because if they didn't ask me what the sales tax was, but just wanted to know what I'm going to pay overall, I wouldn't have to do that intermediary step. Okay, let's go look at another problem, sales tax-wise. As I'm erasing this and we continue looking at problems, this is the last block of problems. What happens after this block is they put problems in big word problems, but you're just reading, looking for the ask, and going to find the information that you need. So it's a really good process. So let's look at something like 24. 24 says, well, your purchase price is $14.99. The total price is $15.74. So remember what purchase price is purchase price and retail price are the same thing. It's there up at the top. They're both the original price. So an item is priced on a tag $14.99. You pay for it and they charge you $15.74, and you're wondering, and the question is, what's the sales tax rate? So you're looking at your receipt and you're like, I don't know what the sales tax rate is here, but we can figure it out. So let's look for sales tax rate. I'll put it at the top of the screen. It says, well, I can get the sales tax rate. So the tax rate is simply the total price, $15.74, minus the purchase price, $14.99, and we're going to divide that by the purchase price, $14.99. Okay, cool. Let's just plug it in exactly how we see it. Open parentheses, 15.74 minus 14.99, close those parentheses, hit the divide by button, and type in the $14.99. And you will get this answer, 0.050 0.03356. Again, that's not your end answer because the sales tax rate is a percentage. So sales tax rate is a percent. We want to know the percentage. So what do? I'll highlight this by making a different color. We move the decimal point forward to and realize, oh, it's a 5% sales tax. Sounds awesome. We should live there. That's not like any area around us here in the Folsom area. But we have this 5% sales tax rate. How do we find it? We just use the formula. So the only other thing that they can ask us, and we might as well do this problem so that you have it here in the video, is one like it kicks in at problem number 28, even-wise. So let's look at 28. So as we do 28, let's tell you what they give us. In 28, they tell us that the sales tax rate is 8%. That's more like us. The total price, so what we paid after tax was $1,069.20. And what do they want to know? They want us to find the purchase price. So what is all this chapter going to be? It's going to be, well, identify what they're asking for, the purchase price. Find the formula associated to it. It's the one up top in the middle. So purchase price is what they want me to find. Total price. Did they give me the total price? You bet they did. They had to. 106,920. And I'm supposed to divide that by 1 plus the sales tax rate, 0.08. And I just plug it in the way I see it. So I type in 1069.20. Divide that by, open parentheses, 1 plus 0.08. Close those parentheses and hit equals. And I realized that the original cost of that item was $990, of which I paid 8% sales tax, and that brought it up to $1,069.20. But the price that would have been on that item that I purchased would have been $990. This video will help you as you go through the homework, but try that homework, reach out with questions or concerns that you have, and we'll make it all make sense. But this is probably the most overloaded section in terms of the different things that they're handling, but it's all very central to being given formulas and using those formulas to come up with answers to the question that they're asking. All right, thanks for watching.